Since 2021, I've motorcycled all 48 contiguous United States and all 10 Canadian provinces on my 2020 Suzuki V-Strom. During those travels, I visited all but 4 U.S. national parks in the lower 48 states. I decided in 2025 to journey to Alaska, my 49th state, and visit 3 more U.S. national parks. Given the distance of Alaska from the lower 48, I also decided to fly there and rent a BMW F750GS motorcycle for 12 days to explore the vast landscape. Please join me on my journey to discover the magic of Alaska and its people. It is about 7:30, arrived in Anchorage, about a 7.5 hour flight, and those are my 2 bags. I'm waiting for a pickup from the hotel, and tomorrow I'll pick up my bike. Good morning. It is a Monday, right before noon. I'm in Anchorage. Just picked up my F750GS BMW that I've got for the next 12 days. It's got about 9 horsepower more than my DL650, my beloved V-Strom. Renting it from MotoQuest. Got my familiar gear packed and ready to go for 12 days in Alaska. State number 49. About a mile away from MotoQuest. Stopped in at Sportsman Warehouse to pick up a couple things, including propane that I couldn't carry on the aircraft coming out here. So we'll see how this bike compares. Well, there's lots to talk about for this trip. Bought as much gear as I could for my bike. With 2 checked on bags aboard an aircraft, including my quad lock mount. Just plugged into the dash of this BMW. Feels a little different than my Suzuki in terms of where the friction zone is for one thing and where the brake pedal is for the other, so it's going to take a little bit of getting used to. My goal today is heading down to a campsite that's probably about 150 miles away. I'm going to do a big loop around Alaska and visit 3 different national parks. I'll try to go into them a little bit. They're huge national parks, so this is going to be a trip of just kind of kissing the boundary of them, especially the second national park, which I'll talk about in a future episode. But they rent pretty much exclusively BMW motorcycles at this MotoQuest. They've got 3 locations, 1 in Alaska and 2 down in the western side of the United States. So at the end of 12 days, my wife's going to fly out from Connecticut, and we're going to take a cruise ship, one-way cruise ship from Whittier, Alaska, which is southeast of Anchorage, and head down to Vancouver before we'll fly home together. So it's a week-long cruise. But between here and there, I have got myself 12 hopefully glorious days here in Alaska. Homer. I'm headed towards Homer. I won't get there until tomorrow. 211 miles. There's a heck of a wind. Wow. And I think my campground is close to the water. So I'm hoping there's some protection, or it's going to be a tough night. This is Beluga Point. And I would go down and walk out on those rocks, but with this wind I'm afraid it's going to knock my bike over. So I got to stick with it and hold on to it. Here's another scenic lookout. The rain forecast is almost every day there's rain up here. I wasn't really paying attention to the wind forecast. Maybe I should have. Bison. It's Wildlife Center here. beautiful vistas. The wind's calmed down. The cockpit on this bike is very noisy. The windscreen may be causing it, I'm not sure. It doesn't give me quite the protection that the windscreen that I have on the V-Strom does. And it's much noisier, I think, than the V-Strom. It feels like it in my helmet. A little different landscape here. Must have had a fire. Huge sections of trees that are knocked down. Johnson Lake Campground. It is 5:30. Here I am in Johnson Lake State Recreation Area. Somebody lit a fire for my campsite. I have no idea why or who it was. I'm going to set up my tent over there on the right. And fortunately it stopped raining and I'm protected from the wind, so it should be a good night's sleep. It rained for a bit and stopped again. The sun came out and now it's clouded up again. So it's very changeable weather here, at least today. So it's a fun first day here in Alaska. I'm north of Homer right now. I'm going to head down to Homer tomorrow and then up north on the peninsula again, and then we'll head east. So we'll stay on the peninsula on the eastern side of it tomorrow night before I go into Whittier and then across over to Valdez. But interesting day. It was really windy for a lot of it. It's definitely on the cool side. I've got lots of layers on. A little bit what I expected though for Alaska, so I'm interested in seeing what tomorrow brings. This area down here is a lot flatter than it was up towards Anchorage, and I don't know what the national park will be like that I'll be visiting hopefully tomorrow, where there's a glacier. I presume that there's going to be some mountains on the eastern side of this Kenai Peninsula. Day number 2 of the motorcycle trip begins. Got up at 4:30. It's 5:30 right now. There's my breakfast. Not very healthy, but it should be hearty. Bike's packed, ready to go. It's supposed to have a lot of rain over the next day or two. So I wanted to get up and get the tent put away before it started raining in hopes that I can keep it dry at least one more day. After eating breakfast this morning, I'm going to head down to Homer. It's about an hour and a half ride down there. Then I'm going to reverse course, go up around the northern part of the peninsula since there's no way to cut across the south. And we'll head down to Seward, where I've got a campsite reserved for this evening. So I'm going to try to stay in a camp tonight, but if it's raining really hard, I may try to find it, whether there's a motel or hotel room available down in Seward. So that's the plan today, and visit the national park that's down there. Again, I had a hike plan, but if it's raining, I don't know whether I'm going to do that or not. It's starting to sprinkle a little bit right now. So here we go, day number 2 on the motorcycle. Yeah, it's about 6 o'clock. It's Johnson Lake State Park. Really nice place. Park started right up this morning. No problems. Didn't rain all night, so I was fortunate the tent was dry this morning, as were all my contents. I got everything packed up, and it's been spattering rain in the last half hour. I think tomorrow we're supposed to get 2 inches of rain, so I think like a ½ inch today and 2 inches tomorrow. So tomorrow could be kind of a brutal travel day, although part of it's going to be on the ferry. Not a lot of traffic. 6 o'clock in the morning. Here we go. Day 2 ride. It's gonna be a full day, unlike yesterday. And I'm probably gonna get rain on my GoPro. Not sure there's a lot I can do about that. Put a waterproof case on my phone. Well, I just saw my first 2 moose here in Alaska, and it was not a happy experience. There was an oncoming pickup truck. I was going probably 60 miles an hour on this road. 2 moose came from my right. Huge animals. At least the first one that made it up onto the road. By the time I saw him, he decided as I was braking that he was going to cross in front of me. Fortunately, he had run parallel to me for just a bit, and by the time he crossed, I was down to a relatively low rate of speed, but the oncoming truck, who also saw him, started slowing down, and I thought that the oncoming truck was going to hit the moose. And I think the moose realized he was in trouble because he was running as fast as he could across the roadbed, and he actually went down on the shoulder in the opposing lane. He missed the truck, fortunately for the truck and for him. But he actually slid, his hindquarters slid down on this wet pavement, and he skidded off into the grass. I didn't see what happened to the second moose, but it was a pretty frightening experience. I mean, I've seen moose before out in the wild, and they're big. This thing was the biggest moose I've ever seen. So hopefully I don't see that happen again, but it was quite an experience. It happened very quickly, and they were moving. I was hoping that by riding in the daylight, which right now, at this time of year, most of Alaska is daylight, that the moose would be kind of bedded down, but that is clearly not the case. Just entered Homer. They describe themselves as being the halibut fishing capital of the world. There is the spit that you can ride out onto. I'm not sure exactly what's out there. I think there's maybe a few shops and beaches and stuff. Not the kind of day you want to go to a beach. It's been a brutal ride. Thank goodness for the heated grips. This is Homer Spit. Salty Dog Saloon. It's a lot of fishing craft here. And probably a magnificent view of the mountains on a nice day. Can't see much today. Homer Spit. Kind of a miserable day. So, now I head over to Seward. Still pretty early in the morning. It's about 7:10. Bunch of little shops, none of which are open yet. Still too early in the morning. Kind of an interesting little place. Out here on the Spit. This is the Middle Tick River Scenic Lookout. I'm going to take a short walk. Kind of a long walk down to this lookout. Long muddy walk. Long, muddy, slippery walk. I think that's about as far as I'm going to go. Moose up there. Look at that. Man, they are big. I gotta be careful. I can't quite make my way to my bike with these moose. Go away, moose. Jeez. Okay, I made it back to my bike. They followed me in that direction as I kept backing away. And I was kind of out in the open, so I started walking over to the restrooms thinking I could dodge into one of those if they decided to make a charge. They ended up walking past the restrooms and then up the trail to the right. Moose are like everywhere, at least in this part of Alaska. Back on the bike. Heading back up towards the mountains. It's peeking over. And I just passed the sign, 164 moose have been killed in the Kenai Peninsula since July 1st of last year. So that's a huge number of moose that were killed. That doesn't address how many collisions there were where the moose survived, but it goes to show you how many moose are around this area. It's just incredible. Pouring down rain here in Seward, Alaska. Got off the bike, got under some cover. I was going to camp this evening right here to my left, but it's just coming down too hard, and it's supposed to drop down to the mid-30s tonight, so I ended up taking a motel room.